For sure, yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And it's been a little while, that's my bad. It's been actually a long while, but we're back making content better than ever. And today we're talking about the MVP race. The six-way race is almost like the Olympics. There's actually like 6 different lanes, and there's many different ways you could go with this MVP race. So I'm gonna be telling you my opinion and what I think will happen. And they're very similar, to be honest. It's not because I'm jumping on their chains. It's just because I'm like that with my takes. Like, if you go look at my past takes, I actually don't, because some of them are a little bit shaky, but I'm just like that with takes, and so my take is probably the right take. But if you have a different take, comment down below. Only subscribers can comment though. That's a new thing. Only subscribers on this channel can comment. So subscribe, then comment. Then don't unsubscribe. Just don't do it. But without further ado, let's jump into this video. Sorry to interrupt today's video, but I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind subscribing and liking right now. You know, I put a lot of effort into making these videos, even if I take massive gaps in between, and I apologise for that. But I do put a lot of effort into this, and I was just wondering if you could click that subscribe. It'd mean the world to me. You guys don't even know how much it means to me. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, and once you've subscribed, you can comment. So if there's anything I missed out in the videos, anything you want to say, feedback, I love it all. Please subscribe, comment, like, and check out the polls that I put out. Thank you guys so much. Back to the video. So my thing with this MVP race, right, is there's many people who people say should be in for it. But to be honest, I think if you're not a good team, competitive team, you shouldn't be in the MVP race. This is me basically saying Luka Doncic and the LA Lakers, Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm sorry, but you're screwed. There's no chance for you, either of you two, to win MVP. Although they're probably 2 of the best seasons. They probably had 2 of the best seasons. I mean, Luka's leading the league in scoring. He's top 5 in assists, I believe. He's after Jokic and Sabonis and guys like that. He's missed the triple-double. I mean, he's just farming it. You know, he had like a 50-point almost triple-double the other night. Luka is insane. And same with Anthony Edwards. It's really unfortunate his team have neither a point guard or a competitive and competent offense around him. But if they did, Minnesota would really be up there. They literally just need someone who can pass the rock, not Dante DiVincenzo, who could just shoot threes and not be doing that amazingly. So yeah, Minnesota and LA, it's the team. And for Anthony Edwards and Luka Doncic, it's just the team. The team's laying down, the team's screwing them over. Better team, better results, better chance at MVP. And then we move on to my top 4 guys. Top 5, sorry. My top 5, in no particular order yet, is Wemby, SGA, Jokic, Jaylen Brown, and Cade Cunningham. I think all 5 of those teams are competitive. All of them were like, we can see in the end game, and end game being the finals. We can all see them there. People said OKC Denver is basically the NBA finals. So whoever wins that goes to the finals. OKC Spurs as well, very, very competitive. And then you look on the East, people saying the East is weak. East is turning it up this season. You know, with JT back, popping off. I mean, not popping off, but JT back, Jaylen Brown being such a consistent scorer as usual. And then Detroit as well. Best team in the East. At some point, I don't know if they still are now, they're the best team in the league based off win percentage. They played less games, but best team based off win percentage. And so when we look at those 5 guys, we've got to break it down. Starting off with, I'll start off with the guy I have at number 5. At number 5, I have Victor Wembanyama. It's purely a stats thing, because the way he's leading his team is incredible. This guy's in his, 3rd season. He's just leading the team absolutely impeccably. I think he's number 1 DPOY. I wouldn't even make a full video about that, because that's such a layup. I think Wemby's definitely the best defensive player in the league. It makes, on defensive side of the ball, it makes everyone's job really easy when you have Wemby behind you. You can close out on defenders hard because you have Wemby behind you. You can play tight defense and not worry about blow-bys because you have Wemby behind you. I think Wemby transforms his team. He makes his team significantly better. And I think that's why Wemby's even here in the top 5, because his stats are good, but they're not amazing. They're not MVP stats. That's why I've gone with him at 5. And at number 4, this is very controversial, but I've gone with Nikola Jokic. And this is two reasons. One, we've seen better from Jokic. It's not his best season. I think we can all agree that everyone who lives in Denver, all Denver Nuggets fans, Let's all agree on that. This has not been Jokic's best season. This has not been Denver's best season. Their defense has mugged them, and we can't say, oh, but that's not Jokic's fault. Jokic isn't good on defense. That's something we can say. Jokic is in converse to best offensive player of all time, but he's never in converse for best defensive player of all time. And I don't expect them to be. None of these guys will be in converse for best defensive player of all time. Jokic gets decent amounts of steals. Last season, I'm pretty sure he led the league in steals, but he's not good on the defensive side of the ball. Like, he's not what you do on the defensive side of the ball. And with Aaron Gordon lost to Aaron Gordon, everyone's saying Aaron Gordon's that missing piece to their defense. Aaron Gordon's not an amazing defender. He's a glue guy. And as an MVP, you can't rely on glue guys. You know, if you look at teams prior, if a glue guy goes down, you find another glue, or you just deal with it and you hustle. You can't rely on a glue guy. And in my head, it's like you're saying that Denver's secret weapon is the 83 overall. Now I'm going to use 2K terms, but when you think about it, Denver's secret weapon, the thing they need the most, is an 83 overall. I mean, what are we doing now? I think this is purely why Jokic is fourth. His team is not good enough. The team he's leading is not good enough. He hasn't played he's very, very close to passing the game's minimum. So that means he won't be able to be eligible for MVP anyway if he misses a game or two, which I think would be crazy if he doesn't even get eligibility. But to be honest, I think Jokic will finish second. Where I think Jokic should truly finish is fourth, just because this hasn't been his best season. We've seen, clear flaws in his game due to Aaron Gordon being injured and their defense being a bit more wide open. And that's the only thing we can pinpoint on Denver, and Jokic can have to take some responsibility for that. And then at third, I'm going with Jaylen Brown. And so now you know my top two, Cade next year. But at third, I'm going with Jaylen Brown. I think history will forget this Jaylen Brown season, because this has been one of the best scoring seasons in the modern NBA since I've been an NBA fan. So I can't say it all the time, because some old heads, even my dad, he's going to come at me and say, oh, you guys don't know prime this player, prime that player. 1997, this guy was a beast. Like, this has been one of the most clinical seasons. Like, Jaylen Brown might be my favorite player right now. And although I'm a Memphis fan, 12 isn't playing any games. So right now, Jaylen Brown might be my favorite player, because he's just such a good scorer, such a good, three-level threat. And to be honest, I won't talk about his efficiency, because I don't know if it's good or bad or not. This is just stuff I don't check, and I need to get deeper into the analytical mode, which I do need to check efficiency, but I didn't. And for Jaylen Brown, I think this has been one of the best seasons of his career. No, the best season of his career. I think he's single-handedly not even kept the Celtics afloat without JT, but he's kept them above afloat. He's kept them amazing. Everyone thought, even Brad Stevens thought, he's like, okay, you know what we're going to do? JT's out, Achilles. Maybe he'll come back earlier, maybe he'll come back next season. We're going to tear it down. We're going to have another gap here. We're going to pull a Golden State, have a gap here. Next season, we'll be on the ball. We'll have a top 10 draft pick, and we'll have prime Jason Tatum, prime Jaylen Brown. We'll be ready to roll. So they traded for Anthony Simons. Their starting center was Neemias Queta, who now it's like, Neemias Queta, why are you hating on him? He's good. Like, last season, if you said your starting center is Neemias Queta, 74 overall, he was back then, you'd be crazy. You'd be crazy. And the way that Joe Mazzulla, I think Joe Mazzulla's hands down coach of the year, because the way that he can transform role players, like the Hugo Gonzalez, he wasn't even a role player, he is now, but the Hugo Gonzalez and the Jordan Walsh and the Neemias Quetas, I can just go like this and make them in such a valuable role in the team, alongside Jaylen Brown, who's taking on the burden of the scoring, as well as a little bit of Derek White and the Peyton Pritchard. The way that Joe Mazzulla can utilize that around Jaylen Brown's phenomenal scoring. And although this Jaylen Brown guy, he thinks he's the best two-way player in the league, like he hasn't met Wemby or Giannis or even SJ. Like, you're not the best two-way player in the league, I'll be honest. But he's really good. That's why I've gone with him at third for the MVP vote. At second, I think it's obvious. We all know how I'm going to go. I'm going with Cade Cunningham. Although Cade has showed some very, very, very bold discrepancies in his game, I think I used that word correctly, some very bold flaws, he still had an amazing season. He's up there scoring, He's having fantastic scoring season, but also his passing. I think, to me, he's Halliburton leveled up. He's the Halliburton if he could get a bucket. And I'm not saying Hallie can't get a bucket, but I'm like, he's Jaylen Brown with Hallie's passing in terms of scoring and passing. He's also not too bad on the rebounding side, which obviously 5 rebounds a game isn't enough to talk about. But when you look at the stat sheet, you're like, he's averaging 27, 11, and 5. Dang, like, he's good. Right? I think people giving too much hate to Cade and Detroit, not even hate, but too much of counting them out. I think in the playoffs it's definitely going to be very, very hard of them not even having a secondary ball handler except from Dennis Jenkins. And love to Dennis because he's taken biggest step up. He is up there for my candidates for most improved player. I think he should be up there for everyone's candidates because he went from a nobody, and that's in the kind of way he went from a nobody to now, one of the biggest roles in Detroit. So I think Dennis 100% up there. But Cade, he's had a fantastic season. He's carried these guys on his back. Everyone says about how the team has leveled up, but it's really Cade, Jalen Duren. They've leveled up massively. The team hasn't changed a whole lot. They traded away Jaden Ivey for Kevin Huerter. Don't know why you'd ever do that. Not like Kevin Huerter makes a difference, but Cade had a fantastic season, carried this team to the 1 seed. I think none of us were surprised when we saw him in the 1 seed, because then we saw Cade's stats. We're like, this guy, he knows how to carry a team. He knows how to control the game. He knows how to win games. And that's why I've gone with Cade, second in MVP. At number 1, I've gone with Mr. Aura himself, Mr. Tough, Mr. Nonchalant. I'm just glazing him now, but it's SGA. I think J-Dub, their second player, went down, and he's been in and out this whole season. And to be able to SGA to just be like, and I can imagine him just nonchalantly saying this, to be like, okay, like, because he just played on. He's still having a fantastic season. This season he broke Wilt's 20-point game record. He didn't break it with a 21-point game in the final game. He had 35. And his passing game is leveled up. He had 9 assists in that game as well, I believe. SGA, he's Mr. Consistent. He is just Mr. Consistent. He was playing fantastic. He's been playing fantastically all season. He's missed a couple games as well, but he's still considerably clear away from the line, so he should win this MVP or at least be in contention for it. But I think your team's number 1 seed, your team's the favorite for the finals, the team's favorite for your team is the favorite for the championship. You're the number 1 seed, you're the best player on that team, you gotta be up there. And I think when you're putting up stats like SGA, Mr. Consistent, smooth, tough, nonchalant, he is the face of the league. And then they want the American face of the league, but a couple miles north won't hurt you too much. He's in Canada. He's the face of the league. He is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. His game is just so amazing, so smooth, so efficient. So yeah, we got to give SGA MVP. And now, in terms of order of how I think it will actually go, I think Cade will finish 5, because everyone counts Detroit out. I think Wemby will finish 4. I don't think Luka will finish in the top 5 purely because the Lakers have been, quite frankly, pretty bad this season. Not pretty bad, but they haven't been good enough at all. So I think Cade finished 5, Wemby 4, Jaylen Brown 3, Jokic 2, and SGA 1. This is the first time in a while I haven't even included Giannis in my thoughts, just because Milwaukee have been really bad, to say the least. Cam Thomas is your second best player. Ryan Rollins, Miles Turner, who can't catch a rebound to save his life. And Giannis being injured, just injured. So I think that's my top 5. But that's also the top 5 who I think will be. If there's anyone else who I didn't mention, who's not Anthony Edwards, who's not Luka Doncic, who are my honorable mentions at 6 and 7, please let me know in the comments down below. As I said, if you're subscribed, you can comment. So subscribe and then comment. Thank you so much for watching. Shout out to Zane. Thank you so much for watching, all of you guys. Please subscribe, hit the like, comment anything you want to say. Love to all of you guys. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye.